Sounds like the AM radio.
Yeah, it sounds like if you're taking your cell phone, holding a microphone up to it, and playing at your car stereo. That's what it'll sound like. So it'll sound muffled. It'll sound like low end and high end are chopped out. All you get is just this like what's going through. So other things like he has it here. It's like you can make your own music track if you want. It's a little bit more complicated. It takes a lot of time. You just gotta go into production and all those things. But most of the time, it's take a song that you already know, or multiple songs that you already know, cut out the sections that you want, mash them together, and make a song. That's like you've seen many dance comps. It's like most of the time there's one song that's been chopped up for like certain sections. So it's like the intro, your bridge, and then your ending. So they like take like certain spots on each song, mash them together, and then it's like a good example is Doryu when he was at FWA when he did Werewolf. That was like 3 years ago at FWA. He did a dubstep song called Werewolf, and it wasn't the actual track. He had chopped a bunch of pieces up because I downloaded the track myself for a set that I was going to do, and it was completely different for how he did it. So he pretty much took like this first piece that he liked the little bitty like audio demo right here in the middle, and then he took the closing and the drop parts, like mashed them all together, made it sound really good. Phasing was good, everything was good. You can sample things with a mic and speaker, but again, that gets into you're not gonna do full production. So
Just go.
my best suggestion: get stuff from legally purchase your songs, or if it's a one and done for a dance comp track, you can rip it off YouTube and then just throw it away. If you're not going to just constantly listen to the song, it's 99 cents. And 99 cents for a song. It's 99 cents.
I've paid for it because I couldn't find the censored version of the song.
Yes. And that's something else we're going to talk about. Censoring music.
I'm really good at that.
So, there's several audio softwares out there to do mixing, editing, recording, different things like that. The best one that I know about right now that I've used a lot is called Audacity, or however you.
That's it. That's actually what I use.
It's called Audacity, and this is it's a really basic DAW or digital audio workstation, and pretty much you'll have. Actually up something other that I was working on. So you can see here, this is my intro that I used last night. Yes. Oh, it's not? Thanks. Alright, so this is I'm going to go over it in more depth, but this is Audacity. And you can do multiple tracks, you can do edits, multiple effects, analyze, compress, change, cut, edit, move things around. Like what I'm showing you right now, this is actually my intro that I used last night for my DJ set. And on this track right here, I have just noise. It just sounds like I'm changing channel. Here I've got sampled news reports and my own voice that I affected and changed a lot. And then down here, I just have an audio track that I picked to be the backing track for everything. And that is how I did my intro. And I'll show you like a whole demo for this because we have tons of time and I have very little content.
Did you send like those in the
Well, some of these, it's like, especially for the news broadcast, or like, I've known a lot of DJs that are sampling movies to get like the talking parts of the movies and put that to their mixes and things like that. So it's your sources can vary, and there's a lot of common. I forget what the law is, but there's a common use law, and it's as long as you're not selling it and it's under so many seconds, you can sample certain things. I'm not 100% sure what the law is, but it's.
I think it varies by country.
But it's if if you're just doing short samples of like Matrix quotes, Matrix, you know, it's like you got Morpheus talking or something like that. You want to throw that into your set or into your song. If you sample that just tiny bit, you'll be good. So,
The Knife Party does it a lot.
yes, there's a lot of DJs who use this sample.
Much like borrowing the line "Protect Your Neck" from Wu-Tang, and they just stretched it out. It's only like 2 seconds.
So I'll go over Audacity and kind of give a good example. But Audacity, cheap, it's free. It's free 99.
Wait, you said it was free or is $3.99?
No, free 99.
Free 99.
Free 93. AudacityTeam.org. So the only other thing you have to do with it is you have to download something called Lane, Lane. But when you download Audacity and install it, it'll actually do a pop-up when you're trying to export a track to MP3. It says, you need the lane converter. Go to this site to download it. It actually gives you a link straight up as to so, Audacity. Audio Cities. There's a couple of other ones. If you search some of the software that I also use Tractor, which is a DJ software, and you have to pay for it, but they do a free 30-day trial. There's other ones like Virtual DJ that they have a home edition. It's just you use a keyboard and mouse to do DJ, and I'll kind of show like how I use that to do some time. You can do it all in Audacity, but it just takes a lot more time. Like whenever you're trying to beat match everything and like, take chunks out, things like that. But with Tractor, I've done it to where I'm running like 3 decks of audio, just like simple and like do it right.
So would you recommend like Audacity if you were just doing like 2 songs?
Oh,
It's like
Audacity for everything.
Yeah, that's for everything.
Audacity for everything. It's free. It's a powerful DAW. There's other ones you can get like demos of Reaper, of Ableton Live, and there's a bunch of them out there that are way more intense and complex. Like if I showed you Ableton or if I showed you Tractor, you'd be like, how am I going to use this to edit audio? Whereas Audacity, it's simple, it's powerful. Because Audacity, it's straight to the point. You have a track here. Oh, I can highlight this section, put it out. Whereas Ableton or Tractor, it's like, oh, I've got to set cue points here. I've got to go record this. I've got to go now drag that recorded audio file back into Tractor. I got to do all these other things.
For my first mix, I actually was hired a DJ to do it.
That's another thing, too. I've actually had a couple of DJs do songs for me as well before I started doing this.
I use Audacity for everything, even recording actual guitars.
And this is
It's
Twitch.
pretty awesome.
Y'all didn't know this is Twitch. He's danced a few times. He's been into the finals a few times.
I've edited a lot of songs for myself and other people.
But there's other online resources as well. If you actually search digital, free online digital audio workstation, there's a couple of them out there. There's like I think it's OWN and 1 or 2 other, but it's pretty much like if you're using Ableton Live, but it's all on a web browser, so you don't have to download anything. You just have to go to it and you can kind of drop your own samples in or drop your tracks in. You just kind of edit them around there and export an audio track. There's a couple things. The reason why I like Audacity, it's small, it's powerful, it just all sits on my computer, and I'm able to just quickly mouse around, move things here and there, cut it, put it together, add silence, amplify it. It's a really powerful bit of software.
I found it great for fade in and fade out, so you don't just get chopped as a song, it just sounds terrible.
Yes, that's it.
The fades are incredible.
So, we'll come back to working with Audacity, because I'll kind of show that. But when
It lets you do. I'm sorry, I read something inside. It lets you do a tempo change.
yes, it does. It allows you to do just about everything.
Okay.
And I'll run you through. There's some really good YouTube videos that kind of show everything, but I'll run you through like the basics of Audacity.
So you have for each of those.
I'll do it
Oh, okay.
when I start showing.
He wants to show off your slides.
I want to show off all your slides.
Well, that was the transition.
Oh, that was the transition point
Yeah.
for each each of those. Ice cream.
What is this?
All right. But big things to avoid, like with building out your own sets or your own dance contract. The biggest thing to avoid: never, ever go over the time limit. If you're like, oh, I've got this amazing drop, and I gotta play out the whole intro, and it's gonna be like 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and the time limit is 2 minutes 15 seconds. They'll cut you off in 2:15. Or it's always like the biggest thing that I want to do with this panel was just be like, I want to turn it into a joke. Just be like, put your track and dog ass and chop it at 2 minutes, and you're done.
Dance
It's
competition.
like,
There's a dance competition coming up?
always go
That's
to
what this is. That's the topic they're talking about here.
It's like nobody ever gets more time. The only time you ever get more time is in your dance competition, and it's like it scales.
I think this is...
And that is the only time you'll ever get more time. You hand them a track, and you're like, just play this, and it's like an 8-minute track. They will play the first 2 minutes or the first minute 45, and then the guys at the front of house will not care and just drop the finger. They'll just be like, all right, we're done. That's it. Yeah, it was really cool. You were building up to do something really awesome. Like,
I haven't seen you shoot at all.
so, biggest thing is edit your song to the sound that you want. That's the biggest thing. Like we said before, low quality audio tracks. Buy your music. If you're gonna rip it, find good rips. Because you can tell a bad audio track from a good audio track. And when you put it on a big sound system, like this is a small sound system. Whenever you put it on a big sound system, you can tell because it will sound like you're listening to your cell phone at a room party like full blast. That's what it'll sound like.
Your song sounds like it's underwater. It's just nasty sounding.
Beats not syncing up. Like if you're trying to transition between song A and song B, or you're mashing up two songs. Like say if you're taking a couple of house tracks or just different like K-pop or different things like that, and even if you have them off by one bar, like your snares and your kicks are just gonna sound terrible because you'll be able to hear it. It's like you might be like, oh, this is cool. I can dance to this because I've got all these audio. It will just sound terrible. But if you can make it work, it'll work. It won't sound good. So it's like house music. It's kind of weird because you got the 4/4 drums, but all your other vocals and things like that, you can be off by a couple of bars and it'll just sound bad. Or even if your phasing is off by like half a bar, it sounds really awkward whenever your two tracks are just off.
Almost like a CDC.
Yeah, it's like you said, like CDC.
And yeah, you could dance to it, but you're going to screw yourself up if you do that. I've done it.
And another big thing to avoid: bad transitions or hard transitions, instant transitions, things like that. So if you're taking like, I'm using terrible tracks, but if you're going from like Gundam style to party rock and you just like instantly cut it, party rock is or if you're going like from a really soft song to like a heavy metal or a dubstep track, and it's just all of a sudden there's like no build up, no nothing, and then it's all of a sudden it's just like instant cut to whatever the dubstep is. Sometimes that's too jarring, or unless you have like really good acrobatics or something big planned for that, usually hard transitions or like big transitions are not a good idea. Because there's just too much of a jarring aspect to the crowd. And sometimes you can pull it off.
I just call it distracting more than anything.
Or distracting. Another big thing is, like, if say you have a 2-minute time limit, if you decide to use 7 songs in 2 minutes, or even 4 songs in 2 minutes, so that's 30 seconds a song. Sometimes that's even too much for even the judges, because the judges will be like, well, I kind of liked it during this song and not this song or this song. I don't even remember this song because it was just like way too long. So keeping a flow of your track, and this is all from my personal perspective. Like you can watch dance comps from where you can see several people who've had like 4 songs in a thing that sounds really good sometimes and they're able to dance to it. But other times it's just like you just mash together 4 big drops for no reason. That's it. And that's one of my things.
My big thing is performance, and how are you going to go hard and keep it low when you got 4 different drops out of nowhere?
I don't know if you heard that, but he was saying performance. How do you keep it performance? And that's the other thing with building your song or building your dance track. You have a flow. You can't. It's like with a DJ set or anything else. If you ever watch like dancers, it starts out a little slow, then it builds up. There's a really big peak, and then it kind of comes back up. So there's always you gotta have this flow that's not just abrupt high, really low, abrupt high at the end and really low at the end. That's too jarring. Like if you're ever at a dance and you hear a bad DJ and it has like the abrupt cuts. From one track to the next, things like that. It's just like do the same. Imagine the same thing for dance contracts. Like if you just have like abrupt cuts, it's like you're all of a sudden going to just stop the flow. Big things when preparing your track for the dance comp. This is always a headache for the organizers. It's like you're just like, oh, I'm going to just give them my track. Working both sides, sitting on both sides, from being a dancer, newbie dancer, veteran dancer, and working dance comps and assisting dance comps. The worst thing is the music collection. Worst ever. Just because you have this, just because you have a cell phone, doesn't mean we're able to read music off the cell phone. We might not have the proper cables to plug to it, our laptops might not be compatible. We could play it into the audio import and it sound terrible, things like that. You can bring it on a CD. Sometimes our laptops might have a CD. Always a bad idea. The new thing that they're moving towards now is they're going to start doing like Dropbox downloads. But the biggest problem with that, and we've had a few times where people have uploaded it and or emailed it, and whenever they downloaded the emailed track, it was corrupted. And so the biggest thing is always have a backup on a flash drive. Like 100%. You can buy dirt cheap flash drives and you only need it. And so always have it on a flash drive and always have it with you. Even if they go put it on the cloud to the Dropbox like at MFF last weekend, they're like, all right, every dancer put your pop track on Dropbox so that we have it already. And sometimes it's just like, I'm in transit or I'm doing this or I'm doing that. It doesn't disqualify you, but it makes it, they're trying to do the Dropbox thing to be more convenient, but the problem with that is they don't know the integrity of the track. So always having a backup, and that's any DJ, any music producer, always having a backup. So
That's a concern for me because I use the drop. I emailed
no,
them back.
They haven't tested. It's a new thing for trying out. But always have a backup.
Okay.
And that flash drive, like having that flash drive, it's better than a CD, it's better than your phone, because I could have an iPhone, but it's not going to hook up to my laptop because I don't have iTunes installed, so I can transfer the file, or I have, they have a MacBook, they have an Android,
Or you're just going to have the driver, and you're not going to have internet access or like convention.
Right.
So it's not going to automatically download and come screw it.
But big things when, after you've created your track, set it up, and Audacity, whatever music software you decide, export it as an MP3. Not a WAV, not an AIFF, not a TIFF, not an anything. Always export it as MP3. Whatever music you grab, try to keep it at the same bit rate. At least do 256, I think is what it is a good one. Doing 128 kbps or whatever it is, it will sound bad on a big run. Try to keep it at 256 or higher. 320 is the best. Try and keep it there, but sometimes it doesn't all work out.
Normally when I'm editing and I'm done and I compress it, I'll keep it at 320 just to make sure that I don't lose any quality at all.
And I'll kind of show the options for that in Audacity whenever I'm talking about that. And I'll show you how whenever you like rip the music off of YouTube, how to check what the audio rate is and things like that. But like this says right here, mouse actually show. No, it does not. Wow, this is. Just look at this. Look at this, and then look at that.
Yep.
It's two different things.
Censoring your thing.
Save it on a flash drive, have it on hand. If they want you to upload it, check the file, and after you've uploaded it, download the file from wherever you uploaded it to and play it on your computer. That is a key thing, because if you uploaded it and then downloaded it and it's corrupted, that means you need to upload it again. Because there could have been something that got screwed up. And never, ever, ever, ever expect extra time. That's the big thing. Never extra time.
Also, what I'll do is, once I'm done compressing the MP3, I'll test it in Media Monkey, I'll test it in FreeBar and Windows Media Player to make sure it's fine. And it will play across everything.
Alright, so, back. Any questions so far? Questions, concerns, comments? Nothing? Okay, so we're gonna skip back to Audacity.
You are very nice.
Yeah, free, DAW, powerful, really good.
It's my bag.
So with Audacity, you can cut, rearrange, and splice music everywhere. I'll give a pretty dirty demo as to what I did for one of the dance comp tracks that I just had in the background, because I kind of make them randomly. I just have it, and it's like, oh, I can use this later, or like, cool, I made that. Awesome. Another big thing with Audacity is you can increase the amplitude and volume of soft tracks. So there's a couple of effects in there where you can take loud tracks and make them quiet, or quiet tracks and make them loud. So you're trying to go for unity gain. So sometimes where you're like taking music tracks, you have a really loud track and a really quiet track, and whenever you mix them together, it's just gonna be bad. Because if you go really loud to really quiet in the middle of your dance, the main stage will have it set to where it's quieter for the really loud stuff, so it'll be really quiet for the quiet stuff. So what you're shooting for is a unity gain, 0 dB. That's the shot for everything, and I'll show you how to do all that. Another big thing that Audacity do, really simple, really effective, fade-ins and fade-outs. Biggest thing I've seen with a couple of dance comps, either with novices or new veterans, is there's no fade-in, and it abruptly stops. Like, even if you do like a 3-second fade-out, that's so much better than, you know, your track going really, really hard and then just stops for no reason. It's just like going, done. It's like have a fade in, have a fade out.
What if you were wanting to do like a real like dramatic dynamic pose, but you still want to fade it out?
You could if it's part of the dance, yes, you could do the dramatic. You could do the hard stop. But generally, if you've like watched a bunch of them, it's just like all of a sudden, you know, the dancer's dancing and then the music stops and they kind of stop dancing. And so it's one of those type of things where if you're planning for it, do it like that. Like the first MFF dance comp that I did here, I did a combination of Barbie Girl and
You'll never forget that.
a dubstep track that I forget what it was.
I'll forget too.
It was I've got the song, but it was all the things that I'm saying is bad to do. But the whole thing was it was a joke to begin with, and then really intense audience dancing for a little bit and then a joke afterwards. So it's like you take Barbie Girl's intro. I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world, life is plastic, it's fantastic. And then I went to a dubstep drop instantly. But I was doing like a backflip and then going through, and as the dubstep was playing, it kind of faded out and was going to another spot. And then I had like an in part of Barbie Girl where I was just like flailing around and doing like silly things for the end of it. But that was like you were saying, that's a planned thing. But, oh, do whatever you want. There are no rules. Do whatever you want. Get in, do whatever you want.
You have creative control.
There have been people that
Children in the audience is pretty much the only
yes,
thing. Children in the audience is the only rule.
Hamming it up.
So from my perspective, and I've danced at quite a few dance classes on this continent.
Those guts.
The whole idea of a dance comp.
Hug clown?
No, it's not. Go away, Cody. Nobody wants you. The whole idea of a dance comp is you're putting on a show for other people. That is all it is. It's not really a competition amongst people. You're putting on a show for that crowd. So you're going out there to like you're going to entertain, and that's pretty much it. So you can do a comedy act. Like there was somebody who did kung fu fighting with, I think, Party Rock or something like that. I forget what it was, but it was a hilarious like mashup track that they had done. It was they said kung fu fighting and then did Party Rock right on top of it. And this was after like the year of MFF where it was like 20 edition samples of Party Rock throughout the entire.
Oh God.
So it was you can poke fun, you can make fun. If you make people laugh, cheer, it's successful. If you don't win, whatever. It's not really a competition. It's doing it. That's just my personal thing as a dancer and things like that. That is how I see it.
Basically, just to have fun.
It's to have fun, and it's to show off, do things, and sometimes somebody be like, whenever you find the people that are too serious about it and start to get, when they start to get, jerkish about it, they don't understand what's happening.
It's actually pretty disrespectful to be like that.
But
And pretty looked down on.
But back to working with this. So you can do the fade-ins, fade-outs. I'll show you how to do that. You can time stretch or speed up in Audacity. The other thing, like with here, it says change tempo to fit time limit. If you have like the perfect like by Mystery Otter, nobody knows it. If you have like the perfect, like you've already cut your music up, you've done everything, you've done it really well, but it's like 2 minutes and 30 seconds long for a 2-minute track. You can actually speed it up your entire track by like 0.5% or 1%. It'll get you within that 2 minute, and it won't sound really sped up. It won't sound too different.
Tolerance level.
Yeah, there's a bit of tolerance, and Audacity can help you with that. And you can stretch things and play around with it to kind of just mess around with the music to make it sound really good. And that's what I do with Tractor, since I already own the program. But you can do it with Virtual DJ at home. It's similar to Tractor, but a different one. And you can time stretch, you can speed it up, you can do all these different things. You can add effects, but it's find your own workflow. That's the biggest thing, just find your own workflow. But I'm going to show you how to do it with Audacity, where it's super simple. And another key thing I'll show you how to do is censoring explicit content.
I'm an expert.
He is good about doing this.
Very good.
Other people are not so good about doing it. There are several ways to do it. You can either just silence the track and bleep in. You can use other samples and things like that. But it's always, if you have a track that you really love, it has curse words, explicit content, mostly curse words. You know, the dirty 7. If it has the dirty 7 in there, censor it out. So it's keep it PG-13. That's about the only thing. Keep it PG-13 because that's what you. All right, so
I'm a fan of reversing the curse.
there's that too, and I can show
That's,
you.
that's usually radio standard for censoring, so that's nice.
They reverse it?
Yes.
Yeah, like
I
you
don't
have
think
the
I've heard
F
this
word.
before.
Well, it's like you have the F word, you'll start it at the F and end it at the K, then click reverse and flips it around. So now the word's pretty much blurred out. There's no real loss of flow when you do it.
All right, so this is Audacity. Now, this I want to show you like all the different softwares that I own that will make you cry as you look at these things
I
sometimes.
kind of want Tractor.
Tractor's good. All right, that would be Ableton or something. There are other ones out there that have like Tractor. It's got a 30-day free trial, so you can try it out whenever you're trying this stuff together. But so this is Audacity. Simple. You have your play, your pause, your stop, your record, fast forward, rewind, all your different tools, level meters, how loud you want your speakers to be or microphone input to be, cutting, copying, pasting, trimming, silencing. Really simple. That's all it is. You have a bunch of effects that you can use. You can do a couple of really simple things, but it's super simple software. This is Tractor. This is a DJ software. This is where you go, oh, I'm gonna load this track, this track. Oh, I can put filters over here. I can change the key, I can pitch, I can gain it up, gain it down. Kill mids, kill highs, kill lows. You do all these things. Make the volume up and down. I'll kind of show you how to do both the workflow that I've done with a few tracks with Tractor and other things. But Tractor's more of a DJ's one. It's like a fancy media player, but I have a controller that attaches to it and does all these things. But I can show you how I've used this to make one of my dance comp tracks that I want to use eventually. This is Ableton Live. This is a super complicated software with a very high learning curve where you can produce your own music with this. You can do everything that Audacity does, but in more detail. So, we're not going to talk Ableton. We're going to kind of talk Tractor, but I'm just going to show you my workflow. But what we're mostly going to talk about is Audacity. So, with Audacity, very simple. You record in audio tracks or drop in audio tracks. So like I can take import audio desktop and I'm gonna start off with a little bit of a demo. Minimize. I did not save the Audacity project for this because I just made it and threw everything away because of how I do it. But this is one of the songs that I had made. So very, very swingish, very easy.
She said I love you, boy, I love you so. She said I love you, baby, oh, 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 oh.
And it's like, okay, really swingy, really easy, doing its thing.
She said I love you more than words can say. She said I love you, baby, hey, 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 hey,
Your own style.
baby.
And it kind of comes up here in the middle. Right? Yeah. But this is actually a small like now working hard and what's about to happen is dubstep track. If I had to look at that, it probably wouldn't start enough.
It's got bigger than I ever could have planned.
That's good. very straight out, but I could have kind of talking about like your big cut or something like that. But there's a true definition of a stop. It's not just a continuous.
It ends with a hit.
Yeah, it kind of ends with a hit or something like that.
That's neat. Are you able to like stack the tracks? Because like
Yes. Oh, you mean like pull out the instrumental or pull out the vocal and things like that?
well, like pulling out vocals so it would like flow better.
No, you can't. You can do it with Audacity, but it's difficult because what you have to do is you have to find the track, and you have to find the instrumental track or just the vocal track. So it's actually easier to just go out and find like the instrumental track. So like with that song right there, what that song actually is, it's a culmination of 3 songs. So it's actually the Plan B 16-bit remix, dubstep remix. It's the original Plan B She Said, and it's part of the instrumental that has all the vocals removed. So it's like that whole intro part, that is the intro to Plan B's She Said. So it is. It never starts.
Love you, boy, I love you so.
But it literally, it's just the intro.
She said I love you, boy, I love you so.
And
She
I'm
said I
like,
love you, baby.
that's really good. I can take that. And then there's but it goes through and it gets to the bridge right here. And I'm like, okay, I can use this because it's just the bridge. But it's supposed to actually start talking.
So I said,
Like right here, he's got vocals.
but you
But
said
what I
you
found
really
is,
can't be right.
hi Dorio, hi comment, hi Dorio, hi comment.
Hi, bye.
Only just met tonight.
But so what I did is I took the instrumental of that bridge part right there, which is the snare going to all right, get out. And the dubstep remix, it had the intro of it has those vocals, it's just very very calm, very quiet, and then it goes into the drum. And so what I did is I took the instrumental, I laid it over on top of the dubstep, and then I mashed all that together. And so pretty much what I did, this is quick and dirty because this actually took me more than 10 minutes to do this, and I don't remember most of this. But like, I'll just kind of show you what it is. So pretty much what I started out with, I took the Plan B She Said, and I dropped it into an audio track. So we see this is quite quiet. So the first thing that I always do is I would amplify it up to make it louder. So if I do this, and you just kind of hear how quiet. It's kind of quiet. You see the meters here are not going all the way up.
She said love.
So if I stop that and I repeat the amplifier,
Does the amplifier have the full value, or does it do better?
so the amplify actually takes it to a 0.
Okay.
What it's shooting for is, you see, it's amplifying at 14.5, but what it's actually doing is taking it to a peak value of 0 dB, and that's usually what you're trying to shoot for all your tracks. Because 0 dB, whenever you're looking at a DJ mixer, that puts you at about the yellow or the red on a DJ mixer, so that it gets you in that sweet spot where you want to be. So, and most of these you amplify it, but like before it was really quiet, and now it's a lot louder. And I didn't change anything on my system. So we'll start off with the quiet track, and it's something like, all right, I don't need this silence, so we're gonna cut that out. There's cut tool. There's all the other tools. It's you just kind of hover over things and whatnot. But it's like I wanted this intro part, so I'm like,
She said love you,
okay,
boy,
I
I love you.
want this intro. And then it's like, okay, so this is. So I want this whole intro right here. So, like normal, Control C, just do a new audio track.
has to be stereo track.
Oh, the little concert thing?
Right, so it's like I took that first chunk of 30 seconds of whatever. But other things that it's kind of, I have no idea what the BPM is, but you can analyze and find out what the BPM is. Finder. See, this is where I usually throw it in the tractor and figure out the, which I can show you that right now. How it does that. And what's actually beautiful about these things is this, the original Plan B, she said, it's actually 146, and most dubstep is at 140. So it actually works out really, really well whenever you're trying to mash these tracks together. And so it's like, with tractor,
She said I love you, boy, I
I'd be like,
love you
okay, I
so.
like this.
She said I love you, baby.
And your jump start. You're finding that spot where you're like, okay, this is where I want to start to do that kind of prelude where I have the instrumental and the dubstep kind of layered over each other. So that's where it was, the guy was talking, and it had the da, 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 but it was also a little bit heavier. So it's like dudes talking over it. And so what I did is I took the instrumental track plus the dubstep track, I synced them up on Tractor to 147 BPM or something like that, and just played them at the same time and recorded them. But you can do all the same thing in Audacity. It just takes a lot longer because you're going to be time stretching things. So you're going to speed them up, slow them down, speed them up, slow them down until you find that perfect.
That's gonna be like in like trial and error.
Right, it's trial and error. That's why like the virtual DJ or the Tractor that helps out really well, because you can just throw them in there. It tells you the BPM. You can sync them up with each other, and then just record that audio output, and then take that and throw it back into Audacity and take those clips that you wanted. And so like with this right here, it's I took the little bitty intro part that I wanted. So it's that little bitty like kick and the big, and it's that talking intro part. But the other thing is, it's like
She said I love you, boy.
when you're grabbing everything else at the end, the big thing is knowing your transients. It's knowing your transients, knowing how to do, looking at music. That's the other thing, because you can hear things, but whenever you're editing it, you're looking at it mostly. So it's really useful to sit here and just like zoom in on things. So whenever we're like zooming in and say, this is probably a couple of kicks. So it's like right here, this would be a kick drum. But it's, when you're trying to line things up, what you're wanting to look at is like these peaks and these lows, so that you can kind of line your tracks up perfectly with things, and then you kind of time stretch them, speed them up, slow them down, so you get those peaks in line with each other. And whenever you're, like the way that I did that Plan B song, it's like I knew exactly at the point when it would start doing the instrumental, this little snare kick here. So whenever it's doing that, whenever it's doing that da 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 da, I took the instrumental track, and whenever I laid over the dubstep track, I was using that instrumental snare, and I'm able to line that up with this instrumental. And I would show you, but I'm running out of time. Let me see if I can do it with Tractor.
Are you able to group together, so like you line up two of the tracks and then you have like a third track that you're hearing? Can you group the two tracks together and then stretch, stretch or move to the third track? Or do you
Yes, you can, because in Audacity you can do multiple audio tracks. So like here, how I have two tracks, or even with my my MFF intro here that I did, I have 3 tracks here. So I've got my track here, and all it is just noise. It's just a noise track. But you see how this is lined up with this one, and this is lined up with this one. What you can do is, on the different audio tracks, you can just highlight the part that you want and apply effects to that part. So if I really just wanted to say, make this section of, I could turn it down. Like if I want to make this quieter, I can just say, I'm going to turn this bit down. Since I only highlighted on this track, it talks, it's just on that track that you're applying effects on. Or I can change pitch or speed, and I can just like slow things down. And as you see, I slowed it down and stretched everything out so it adjusted everything out. So you can speed up, slow it down, and adjust it like that. And Audacity is really good at snap to snaps. So if I'm like,
And you create those cues, right?
Yeah, these little bitty like noise hits that I have on top, I just recorded like that. I have a little thing that has like a voice source, so I just like there's some generates. I include that play for the track Audacity. I already had tools in hand. I could just like plug it into my microphone and just like record things. So, but like with this, you can move things around. But you see how it's like that yellow line that kind of pops up? So that's it snapping to. That's it snapping to where the tracks meet each other. So if you're chopping one track and then chopping the other track, you can snap them together. And that section that you're trying to speed up or slow down, you can just speed up or slow down that section. And then if say I wanted to slow down everything because, oh look, I'm at 50 something seconds, but the time is only 30 seconds. 40, like say I'm at like 55 seconds and I need to get down to 50 seconds. You just highlight everything. And you go to do an effect, change speed, and to make things quicker, to shorten things, you speed it up. To make them longer, you slow them.
They want to change tempo, is that change speed for speeding up the track, is change speed, change tempo.
Oh.
I think the question earlier wasn't around how to make modifications to a single track, but if, for example, a line leads up perfectly across 2 tracks, do you need to move it to a later point in the song?
Is that kind of like what you're asking?
Yeah, it sounded like you wanted to like make these one track.
Yeah.
So
But
that
if you did a lot of work to line things up, you don't want it to mess up just because you have to move it forward half a second.
So
Is that grouping available?
it's available because what you would do is you could export that one track, like so you can, like if,
save it as
Yeah.
new audio file and import that audio file
you
to a
can
new
export it.
project.
It's extra steps. It's there's not a I'm not sure if there is a compression where you can press it down, but you would just export that audio track and then you drop it back in. So it's a lot of trial and error. I've had a few where I've sat there and like, I just had this perfectly, and then I added a thing in, like with, like perfect example, like what you're talking about with Ace Brown. I had some of these news clips perfectly in there where I wanted them for this intro, and then I added in another one that I just, because I was just like, oh, I have a dead space right here, so I can do like this super short clip. And then it moved everything outward. And I'm like, no. So what I should have done is probably export everything else and then add that one. But it's a lot of patience.
Does it work like Photoshop, like gives you just like control things like
Yes. There like you see me doing things like here, like I can do weird effects, change tempo. I can speed this up 40%. Control Z does undo. It does the undo. And there's even right here underneath the microphone, there's an undo and a reading. So it's like, because when I was originally recording my vocals for this and dropping the tempo and effects and things like that, I had some really good ones, and then whenever I was just like, okay, I'll save this for later. I should have saved whatever I did, but I didn't, and I was having to guess again. So, but yeah, you can, there's Control Z's and there's redo, so there's a lot of that on that stuff. It's really good. Apparently, I've gone over. Nobody's out there yet. So, do y'all have any questions?
Not related to this. It was more about the dance comp and that drop file thing.
Oh, the Dropbox thing.
Yeah.
So, what is your question about that?
Well, it's because I dropped. This is mainly for this
You
camera.
talked to
I
that
dropped
guy.
it off and I sent an email to them to make sure they had it. They replied yes. I don't have
A flash drive available, but they said that they received my file. Should I?
They had it, then they have it, yeah.
Okay.
But I was talking about how always have a backup.
I don't have a backup. It's on my phone and then I have it through email.
Don't worry, we'll let you know when there's an issue.
Okay.
Any questions, concerns, comments?